Thanks very much, Michael. Okay, we're swinging into the final session for Diggers and Dealers 2025. We've got a suite of 5 gold companies presenting from exploration stage right through to one of the biggest producers in the world. So thanks for your attendance in the final session here. Our first speaker is Grant Haywood, Managing Director and CEO of Horizon Minerals. Grant's a mining engineer with more than 30 years of operational project development and managerial experience in underground and open pit mining in Australia. He's a graduate of the WA School of Mines here in Cal and has a degree in mining engineering and a master's in mineral economics. Grant has also held senior leadership roles at Goldfields, Saracen, and as COO of Horizon prior to becoming CEO in 2023. Please welcome Grant.
Yeah, thank you, Duncan, for the introduction, and what a pleasure it is to be here presenting at Diggers and Dealers on behalf of Horizon Minerals. So we're a development company, an exploration company, and also a producer. So we're producing gold right now, but we have large growth plans, and want to be an independent gold producer in our own right by the end of 2026. So probably starting off with who we are. The faces you see on screen there, we're a pretty hands-on and technical group covering the areas of mining engineering, geology, metallurgy and corporate finance. So we've got deep experience, over 150 years of operating right here in the WA goldfields. So we've ran operations, we've had exploration success, and we've constructed mines. So we believe we've got the skill set and the expertise to execute our growth plans. So at a glance, as of yesterday's close, market cap of around 133 million. I've got over $30 million in the bank, so we're all cashed up. I've got a little bit of debt with Nabari Partners out of New York, which we'll repay by November this year, and currently an EV of $107 million. So pretty cheap, $60 per resource ounce, which is on par for an explorer, but for a producer, there should be many multiples there, particularly on an EV per production ounce basis. We've got 1.8 million ounces in the ground. We're going to generate some more cash on top of our 30 million we've already got in the bank. We're producing from 2 assets at the moment, and we'll make $30 million over the next 12 months. We're getting that cash flow from third-party processing. So recently, in February this year, we completed a merger with Poseidon Nickel. So it's a bit strange that a gold-focused company merged with a nickel company, but what that merger did was bring in our own processing infrastructure. So I brought in the Black Swan processing plant, which is 40 kilometres to the north of us here. So we aim to refurbish and repurpose that plant to a gold plant. And we also have an extensive land holding and a premier mining address of 1,400 square kilometres, which has enormous upside as well. So a strategy to become an independent gold producer. As I said, we're mining from 2 operations. We've reached steady state now and are starting to harvest cash from those operations and increasing our strength of our balance sheet. We're also doing studies at the moment, so we've engaged GR Engineering Services, and we've also engaged Mining Plus. So they're going to do the refurb and repurpose studies, and we're also going to complete some mining studies. So we're going to start this plant up late in 2026 at a run rate of 1.5 million tonnes per annum, aiming to produce an aspirational target of 100,000 ounces per annum over a minimum period of 5 years. So we've got a pretty strategic portfolio. If you look to the top of the screen, you can see in the orange text is where the Black Swan plant is, only 40 kilometres from here. And just to the left, we completed a transaction we announced yesterday, acquiring the Gordon's project from Yandal Resources. So it's only a small resource of 20,000 ounces, still open along strike and at depth. But what really excites us and the geology team is the exploration potential, only 10 kilometres from our Black Swan plant. So we think it's a nice bolt-on acquisition. The Black Swan plant itself has got an estimated replacement value of $150 million. So we can refurbish that plant for a fraction of that cost. And as I said, we aim to turn it on in late 2026. So a quick look at the portfolio. Barara Gold Project. It's only a 20-minute drive from us to the east here. We started mining that project in August last year, put our first gold bars in January this year. and are treating 1.2 million tonnes through an all purchase agreement with Paddington Gold Mines. So this project will generate $30 million of free cash flow, and that's based on a $36 Aussie gold price. So we'll keep mining this year and we'll keep processing till about the middle of next year to generate that cash flow. Project to date, we've put 300,000 tonnes through that plant, and we've also generated 200,000 tonnes of stockpiles. So we've been injecting a fair bit of cash into this project, and you may have seen from our 5B we released earlier last week that the project's now washing its face. So the revenue coming back is now matching production, and now from this point forward we're harvesting cash and making strong cash flows, which we'll see going forward in the September and the December quarters. Our Phillips Fine project, this is another project that we commenced in October last year. The point of difference for this project is we didn't want to stretch our balance sheet and our own capability, so we started two projects 2 months apart. So at Barara, we've got our own management team and technical team managing the site. At Phillips Fine, we've engaged a very capable group, BML Ventures. So they've done similar JVs for other listed companies like Bright Star Resources and Auric Mining, and a very capable group. They'll bring all the gear, all the people, and more importantly, the working capital. So they'll use their balance sheet to develop the project. And for taking on that risk, we'll split the proceeds of this project 50-50. So I've already ran 2 processing campaigns for this project through the FMR mill near Coolgardie, and we're about to start our next campaign next week, and then we'll run the final ore through in September and October this year. So looking forward to banking our half of the proceeds around October, November this year. So Black Swan, the jewel in the crown with the Poseidon merger earlier this year, it's got a nameplate capacity of 2.2 million tonnes per annum. We're going to initially start processing at 1.5 million tonnes per annum. One good thing about getting a brownfield site is it's largely de-risked and all your permitting is accelerated. So to give an idea, the tailings capacity out there has got about 15 months left. When the mine was put on care and maintenance around 2012, they were part way through lift 4, and for a couple of $1 million we can complete that lift, and then lift 5 is also approved. So we've got 5 years of tailings deposition that's already approved for this project. We've also got access, there's grid power on site, and we've also got our own water bores. So I've got a bore field ready to re-equip and to get this mill up and running. So how are we going to do it? Very simple flow sheet. The blue icons you can see on the bottom of the screen, that's the current configuration at a high level. So whether you're processing nickel or you're processing gold, you know, the comminution circuit on the front end is exactly the same. So all we need to do is refurbish the crushing circuit and the mills for the grinding circuit, and then build the gold circuit on the back end. So we're going to build the gold circuit in and around the current flotation circuit because we want to keep it intact. So all we need to do is build the CIL tanks, the elution circuit, the electrowinning circuit, gravity circuit, and the gold room. And then we'll be in a position to produce gold doré bars and sell them to the Perth Mint. So the reason why we want to keep the flotation circuit intact is for optionality. So we've got 420,000 tonnes of nickel in the resource book, and 240,000 tonnes of that is based at Black Swan. So I think it's not a matter of if, it's when the nickel price turns, and we'll have a great optionality to then run nickel through this plant again. Excuse me, 3 days of talking. The other thing we've got in our asset suite, which is probably largely unknown, is our Nimbus project. So it's a large silver project. There's 20 million ounces in resource and 104,000 tonnes of zinc. So that project's also amenable for flotation, which we can put through that flotation circuit. And we've also got a small amount of refractory ore sources as well, and we can also produce a gold concentrate. So we've got great optionality with this plant, not only on throughput rates, we're starting at 1.5 million tonnes per annum. The plant's probably capable of 2.5, but we've got great optionality not only to produce gold, but other commodities as well. So looking at our pipeline, starting on the right-hand side, currently mining from Phillips Fine and Barara. Our Barara project, which we're treating through Paddington, we're only accessing 15% of the resource. So there's plenty of base load left to feed through that Black Swan plant. And along with our Burbanks project, that's got 466,000 ounces as well. So between Barara and Burbanks, it's half our resource book of 900,000 ounces. So it underpins the base load to Black Swan. As you move to the left a bit, you can see our Cannon project there. This is a small underground development. It's already got a PFS in the market in 2022, and it's development ready and fully approved and ready to go. We could start that project tomorrow if we wanted to. Our Penny's Find project, we also completed a DFS in the December quarter last year under a toll milling scenario. This project's also fully permitted and ready to go as well. So we've got a lot of assets that we can turn on reasonably quickly, and we believe we can easily fill that 5-year plan through Black Swan. The other good thing is most of our previous studies have been done at lots lower gold prices. So we're going to optimise and redesign and obviously look at the financing of these projects at much better gold prices. So that's the production story, but we believe we've got enormous upside also on the exploration front. So we've got a lot of tenure in and around Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie on key geological structures. Where our resources are based outside of that, a lot of our ground hasn't had really modern exploration techniques deployed, and a lot of the drilling's only to 50 metres. So we believe there's enormous upside in our package. We've started drilling at our Burbanks project, so we're about 5 holes in there, and I'll talk a bit more about Burbanks separately. We also want to get into our Wilson's project. So this is a project that's right next door to Black Swan, very early stage project, but looking forward to getting the drill bit to work there. And also the greater Barara area. So Barara is 428,000 ounces, but it's only along a strike of 1.5 kilometres. Along the Barara shear on our tenure, we've got 11 kilometres of strike. And there's already a fair bit of smoke that we can follow up, and there's also some parallel structures as well. So we see enormous upside and exploration potential on our projects. So talking a bit about Burbanks, you can see the long section on screen there. You can see the yellow and orange outlines, which is the resource base. And what probably stands out the most is only 30% of the resource has been drilled to 500 metres depth. So there's really good potential to expand this project, not only at depth, but also along strike. This is one of those great projects that, the more you drill, the more you seem to find. There was a 10,000 metre drilling program done in 2022 and increased the resource base by 190,000 ounces. So this project's been worked for probably nearly a century. It's produced over 420,000 ounces at a very high grade of 10.9 grams a tonne. So it's very typical Coolgardie mineralisation, narrow but very high grade. So what we're doing at the moment, we've got our first phase drilling program in place. So it's an infill program. The main goal is to convert more of that inferred material in the underground to indicated, so we can convert it for reserve to feed Black Swan. And following our 15,000 metre program, we'll follow that up with another 15 kilometres of extensional drilling and extend this resource base further. I'll talk a little bit about the ground at Black Swan. You can sort of see the processing facility in the top left corner there. Obviously Poseidon have been a nickel focused company, and only 5% of the assays that they've done have ever been assayed for gold. So there's enormous upside in this package. In the last 12 to 18 months, the Poseidon team pivoted to gold and did a lot of soils and geochem work on their package. And there's been 4 anomalies that have been identified. So the one that excites me the most is that northern anomaly you can see up near the Black Swan plant. So there's a prospect there called Wilson's. It's got historical hits of 6 grams a tonne, and it's 200 metres from the admin building. So we're quietly excited to start a drilling program out there, and it's pretty exciting that we could have a new resource right next door to our brand new minted gold plant. Talk a bit more about the region. So you can see our tenure there's in red. We're not the biggest player by market cap in the region, certainly, but we do have a dominant land position in a premier mining address right here in Kalgoorlie. We're the 3rd largest landholder in the district, and we believe there's a lot more consolidation to come. We've just completed that little bolt-on acquisition with Yandal Resources. There's other assets that are out there. There's some stranded assets in the majors that are too far from their infrastructure, and there's also assets that are development ready, but they don't have their processing infrastructure. So there's quite a few people knocking on the door to get into Black Swan at the moment. So just to sum up, at the moment we've got $30 million of cash in the bank. We're going to produce another $30 million from Barara and top that up further with our work at Phillips Find. That'll largely pay for the refurbishment of that processing plant, which we aim to get on stream in 2026. So I think there's a pretty good value proposition here. We've got a lot of strong news flow to come. We'll get those studies out in the December quarter this year, make an FID, start construction of that plant early 2026, and be the next independent gold producer in the WA goldfields late next year. Oh, the voice lasted. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Grant.